Hey everybody, Tony here with a review of Mozart's Mass in C minor, which was part of the Ouverture Spirituelle of the Salzburger Festspiele, and it was shown at the Stiftungskirche Sankt Peter, with Christoph Rousset on the podium as he led the Camerata Salzburg, and the chorus was the Salzburger Bach Chor with Alois Glasner as the chorus master. And the soloists were Italian lyric coloratura soprano Maria Grazia Schiavo, Swedish coloratura mezzo Anne Hallenberg, British lyric tenor Jeremy Ovenden, and British bass baritone Andrew Foster Williams. Now, I have never really heard of this particular mass before, but after watching this today at the Stiftungskirche Sankt Peter, I was absolutely blown away by how much beauty, how much passion, and just how much, just how beautiful the music was in general. It was just so uplifting, so exciting that every time I listened to the passages, I was just immediately going into another world. That's how much this type of music from Mozart has an effect on me. After all, the great Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart has been very well known to compose such beautiful orchestrations, whether they be operas or symphonies, what have you. This gentleman really knew how to compose a lot of great works, and this Mass in particular was absolutely no exception at all. This was definitely a fantastic experience listening to this work that I have never heard for many years, and now since I had the chance to hear it, I was definitely sold. And this all goes to the fantastic efforts of both the soloists and the chorus, and also that of the orchestra. Now, let's talk about the soloists first. Now, Italian coloratura soprano Maria Grazia Schiavo has been very well known in the bel canto and some of the Baroque repertoire. And her timbre was really sweet, and she was able to navigate those high notes and all of those florid lines and arpeggios very, very well. However, her low notes are kind of grainy, and they're not really that full. But when she sings those top notes, it is blooming. It is just like a lark. And in fact, I've heard some clips of her on YouTube, and I thought she was a pretty good singer in her own right. She had such a lovely timbre, a very silvery one at that can really facilitate all the high notes effectively. However, her low notes do need a little bit of work here and there because, like I said, it sounded a bit grainy, but still, she was a very fine musician with a very fine instrument. Now, Swedish coloratura mezzo Anne Hallenberg was absolutely fantastic in her singing. She was able to navigate all that coloratura very effectively, and she has such a somewhat burnished yet very bright timbre. She's been very well known in singing a lot of the coloratura mezzo roles like Angelina from Cenerentola and Rosina from Barbiere di Siviglia. And hearing her for the first time live, I was just so amazed by her voice. Her voice is so up there with the likes of Cecilia Bartoli, Joyce Di Donato, and many other great coloratura mezzos of the past. She has a lot of potential, and I know that she'll make it a lot bigger in the world of opera. And then we have Jeremy Ovenden, who is a tenor I have heard only in passing, but based on his biography that I've read a couple of times, he specializes in Baroque works, Mozart works, some works of the British composers like Britten and Purcell, and a little bit of bel canto here and there. His instrument, after hearing him in the Mass in C minor, was just gorgeous. It was such a gorgeous and very lush sounding instrument that was able to facilitate itself extremely well, and it has such a very focused and even timbre. Andrew Foster Williams, who I have never really heard of before, was another great soloist. He had such a burnished and very masculine timbre to his voice. It's not too low, not too high. It was just right. It was just the right sound, the right tone. It was just absolutely very gorgeous. No signs of it being woolly. It was a full voiced instrument, and I really hope to hear more of him in the near future. And the conducting done by Maestro Christophe Rousset was very solid all around. Sure, there are times that he can go a little bit on the forceful side, on the crescendo side, especially with the percussion. But still, he was able to give a lot of energy to this work, and it was also helped by the chorus. All of the members sang very beautifully, and I felt so touched by their singing. It was just such great singing from the chorus and from everybody. Overall, great conducting done by Maestro Rousset, great soloists, and a great chorus, and also a great orchestra. So this was definitely a great evening, especially for something composed by Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. I'm sure that Mozart himself would have been very proud. Well, that's all for now. Be sure to tune in tomorrow. Well, I'm not so sure what I'm going to be reviewing tomorrow, either a film or another show from the Salzburger Marionettentheater. Yet something tells me that since I'm in Salzburg, I think another viewing of any show from the Salzburger Marionettentheater would probably be a great addition to my trip. So, until then, this is Antoni signing off and wishing you all a good night.